Hi, everybody, and welcome back. You've heard me talk in other segments about how absolutely essential it is that you have an accountability partner and a business plan. And have I told you that having a business plan absolutely positively changed my life? And that might sound like hyperbole. I promise you it is not. And if you allow me to, I would love to tell you the story. Back in 2014, I was on the leadership team of the #1 Century 21 office in the whole wide world. Believe it or not, it's right here in Midvale, Utah. My boss, the CEO, was a wonderful, wonderful human, dear, dear friend of mine by the name of George Morris. And George has more power charisma than any other human I've ever met in my entire life, which is relevant to the story. So that December of 2014, I had just gone to work for them a few months earlier on the leadership team as the director of professional development. Everyone on the leadership team was invited to create a business plan for the upcoming year, 2015, but it needed to have both a personal and a business component. So I was excited about that. I was going to take all the goals that I had not achieved last year and dump them onto this year and set a few new ones that were relevant. Goal setting I was no stranger to goal setting, and I actually love it. And I've been setting goals and achieving goals since I was a teenager. So not a problem, very exciting. I wrote them all down. I even, grand overachiever that I am, I went to Office Depot and bought one of those hot pink report covers so that mine would stand out from everybody else's on the leadership team. And there it was in early January when George invited me to sit down with him one-on-one and go through what I had created by the deadline in December. There we are. I'm sitting across the desk from him and he's going through it, and all of a sudden he stops. He's reading through the personal, and keep in mind it's upside down and the font is small. I can't see it very well. So when he stops at number 14 on the personal side and says, "Tell me about number 14. I had that moment of panic when you feel your stomach to do a major Cirque du Soleil activity thing. I don't remember, what is number 14? And I'm trying to remember, and I'm trying to look at it upside down. None of that was working. I finally had to drop the ego and just ask him, I don't remember what number 14 is. Would you mind sharing with me what that is? And he said, "Find my birth family." What are you doing about that? Now, total truth bomb. That was one of those goals that I had set for many years and had never achieved. I had used a variety of different methods and resources to try to find my birth family, but none of them had been successful. George and I, when I very, very first started working for him, day one, we connected over the fact that we were both adopted at birth. And so this was obviously a point of keen interest for him to find out what I was doing about number 14, find my birth family. So George asks me, "Have you ever heard of 23andMe?" And I said, no, I had never heard of 23andMe. So he grabs his MacBook Air and he types in 23andme.com and he turns it around so that I can see a kit that looks just like this on his computer. And he says to me, "You need to order this kit and it will come to your house and maybe, just maybe, it will help you find your birth family." George doesn't make suggestions, especially if you work for him, that don't get followed up on. So without further ado, I went home, ordered the kit. It came to my house. I spit in a little tube, sent it in, and I was really disappointed with the results, frankly, at first. I didn't get anything that I found to be useful or helpful. I got 5th and 6th cousins, and I thought, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? But remember, friends, it is February, and to talk about playing a long game, fast forward to December of 2015. I no longer work for George. He's no longer my boss, but he still is my friend. And in December of 2014, I got an email from 23andMe saying that I had new DNA relatives, and I had gotten those before, but this time was extremely different. As I clicked on that report and opened it up, it had matched me with a first cousin. A first cousin. We shared grandparents. Oh, I was blown away. And I will save the rest of the story for another day. Suffice it to say that because I was frankly forced to have a written business plan, because prior to that, I was one of the 93% of agents that did not have a written business plan. I'd been told, like you probably have, that you need to have a written business plan. Only 7% of agents have one. I had even taken a class for one of my designations on putting together a written business plan, and I still didn't have one. It wasn't until then that I had to have one, because my boss, George Morris, told me I had to have one, that I actually finally did it, wrote it all down, turned it into him, and then he became, by default, my accountability partner. Fast forward to the fact that he wasn't my boss anymore. Find someone that can be your accountability partner. I know I've already talked to you about this. I know I've already suggested that it's not your spouse. I want to know now. I want you to be accountable to us. Who is that person? Share with us who that person is. Please go into the Facebook group and indicate who that person is going to be for you, and let us know who that person is that is going to be your accountability partner, and how frequently you are going to reach out to them. Just today, one of my accountability partners, not the one that I reach out to with great frequency, but a year ago, my good friend, Brian Walter, who is a former president of the National Speakers Association and was my accountability partner a year ago, he gave me not only the challenge, but the help to get approved to become a woman-owned business. It took us a year to put all the paperwork together, but just today we sent off the paperwork for that. And so, not having spoken to Brian in some time, I texted him and let him know, all right, accountability partner, I did it. And it took me a long time, but just as you persevere and work consistently toward attaining and obtaining the goals and dreams that you have set for yourself, making even a little bit of progress builds momentum and will allow you to see huge results over time. It's called The Compound Effect. It's an amazing book written by an incredible man by the name of Darren Hardy. There's another book recommendation for you. The Compound Effect is basically this, that as you work and progress and are consistent and tenacious and persistent and consistent about working towards your goals, you will see unbelievable progress over time. Sometimes in this industry, we get very frustrated and impatient and downright unkind to ourselves with the things that we say to ourselves because we are not further down the road. Comparison truly is the thief of joy. Please take the time to celebrate your successes with us, with your accountability partner, recognizing yourself for all of the good that you are doing. Right now, I want to acknowledge you, I want to witness you, and I want to celebrate you that you've made it to the end of Module 2. So that is to be celebrated. I don't have my pom-poms here with me, but I am celebrating you. Please take a moment to celebrate yourself, and please go into the Facebook group and share with us all the good things that you've learned so far and who your accountability partner is. I promise you, having an accountability partner combined with a written business plan can change your life. In the immortal words of Dumbledore, it is our choices, Harry, that show us what we truly are far more than our abilities. So, you've made the choice to be here with us. You've made the choice to come this far. I hope that you will continue on your journey, and we'll see you in Module 3.